If there were no Crimean Tatars, the world map would look different. What role did the Crimean Tatars play in the famous events of the past and how did they influence them? Watch the new video blog, Moments of History, Events to find out. On April 10, 1883, the first issue of the Crimean Tatar newspaper, Terdžiman, or Translator, was published. For a long time, this newspaper was the only one in the Turkic world. It covered important issues of social, cultural, and political life of the Crimean Tatars. Most of the articles were published in the Crimean Tatar language, which allowed the publisher, editor, and first journalist of the newspaper, Ismail Gasprinsky, to circumvent Tsarist censorship. The first issues of Terdžiman were incredibly popular. Crimean Tatars read the newspaper. However, few readers thought about how the most popular Crimean newspaper was born. The author of the idea for the first periodical in Crimea was a schoolteacher named Ismail Gasprinsky. In 1876, he returned to Bakizere from a trip abroad with the idea that reforms in the field of education were needed. He also had a burning desire to publish a newspaper in his native language. His project captivated his friend and father-in-law Molla Asen, an educated and wealthy man. The latter supported his son-in-law's aspirations and lent him money for the idea. Gasprinsky bought equipment for the printing house, but he did not have enough money to start publishing. Molla Asen sold his house and garden in Yalta, but this was not enough. And when Ismail asked him for money once again, he was refused. The family scandal ended with the dissolution of the first marriage. On March 5, 1879, Gasprinsky was elected mayor of Bakizere. During his 5 years in office, the first street lamps were lit in Bakizere, a hospital and a theater were opened, and public education improved. And most importantly, the city's budget tripled under Gasprinsky. However, the dream of publishing a newspaper remained relevant. Everything changed when Zukra Akshurina, the daughter of a well-known manufacturer, appeared in his life. They met in the Crimea. The young girl won Ismail Gasprinsky's heart with her intelligence and brilliant education. Zukra became not only a reliable support for Gasprinsky and a beloved and loving wife, but also a loyal ally. She supported her husband's idea to publish a newspaper. Finally, in April of 1883, the long-awaited permission to publish a newspaper called Terdžiman was received, and the couple immediately began their work. Zukra sells all her jewelry and invests the proceeds in the business. They manually turn the flywheel of the printing press, fold and sort the newspapers, take them to the post office, and send them out to recipients. They do everything themselves without any help. The newspaper ate up all the financial inputs. But the family did not give up. Despite the fact that its cost was only 10 kopeikas, Gasprinsky distributed free issues in city cafes and mosques to make it more widely known, and Terdžiman gained popularity. While the first issues of the weekly newspaper had a circulation of only 320 copies, in the following years the newspaper's circulation grew to 20,000. Subsequently, the newspaper was distributed in 12 countries, including Turkestan, Romania, China, France, Switzerland, Iran, Egypt, Bulgaria, and even the United States. It was on the pages of Terdžiman that the first advertisement called the List of Announcements appeared. Since 1905, Gasprinsky's printing house has been publishing Crimean Tatar language supplements to Terdžiman, the weekly newspaper Millet, The Nation, the magazine Alamai Nisvan, The World of Women, the magazine for children Alamai Subyen, The World of Children, and a humorous publication. From issue to issue, Terdžiman carried the idea of equality between men and women. Gasprinsky wrote in the newspaper, "A literate girl who can read is 10 years more useful than a boy, because a girl is a future mother and the natural, first teacher of her children." Thanks to Terdžiman, readers recognize the names of young Crimean Tatar writers, poets, and politicians. Mehmet Nuzit, Yakup Shakarali, Yüzyan Shamil Taktargatsi, Ablayakim Ilmi, Asan Sabri Ivazov, Abdullah Latif Zaid, Ahmet Ozan Bashli, Noman Kelebadzikhan, Zafer Sadamet and others. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Terdžiman was considered a leader in the Turkic world. After the death of Ismail Gasprinsky in 1914, the newspaper was published for 4 more years under the editorship of his son, Rifat. And his daughter Shafika Gasprinska remained the editor of the women's magazine Alamai Nisvan. Today, issues of the Terdžiman newspaper can be found in the National Library of Ukraine. Follow us on all social media pages of the Crimean House, subscribe, and support us with your likes.